You don't even have everybody here.
All right, it says we are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Old Gray Bricks. So glad to have each and every one of you here today. We've got almost a full room. We have the nice Brady Bunch room, but there's always room for one more to hop into the chat. So we hope some of our friends are going there to my left, right. I don't know. Boone is there holding on to the Old Gray Bricks logo for us today. And I don't know, I've got my shirt. Anybody got your Old Gray Brick shirt on? Anybody? I got my Old Gray Brick shirt and my Old Gray Brick sticker. Look at there. I'm double. Oh, there's an Old Gray Brick shirt right there.
My laundry guy had not washed my shirts this week, and they still smell like T-Public shirts have that printer smell.
Yeah.
And he didn't wash them this week. I'm sorry.
Wait, there's Old Gray Brick stickers?
Yes, I have Old Gray Brick stickers now. Look. I have transparent and 3-inch stickers.
I'm running out with a thong myself, but
where do we get them?
We will figure out how you get them and everything. All right. Before we go around the chat room, let me welcome some folks in the side chat here. Brickman Mosaics Art was the first one in. How you doing? Jeff Van Winden is there, and he has an invite. You can come in. Brickanizer is here. Andrew Sada, good to see you, old friend. Brad Hoopa is here, who I saw the first information about the topic today on his Instagram, and so we'll talk about that a little bit later. Seth Bland, my friend, is here on the other side of the great state of Georgia. Glad to have you here tonight. Let's do a quick run around the room. Brick Snaps is here, laying slate pavers. Is that British for something? I mean, that's Martin. Is I don't know British slang. Is laying slate pavers? Is that
patio stones?
I do that. I do that every day at 8:30. But anyway, so Eminem Bricks is here. How you doing, man? If you want a good Bricklink store, Eminem has a great Bricklink store. He sells really good parts. He bags them almost individually. He's a great seller, so check out his. That was a paid endorsement, by the way. You owe me cash. So let's do a quick spin around the room and see what's up. Let's start right below me here. Matt, what is going on in your world, bud? Hello, Matt.
In my world, I'm muted, but it's double VIP points, people. And I'm just sad that Maddie's not here, so I can't see her tears when I hold this up.
Oh, that's just she's gonna be really upset
Maddie,
about that.
where is Maddie?
I don't know, but this was the only one they had on Wednesday. And
look, Maddie's right here. Hey guys, you gave me this whole bag of stuff for free. It's not great. I'm gonna take it home.
And this is why it pays to be nice to your Lego store employees, because when they only have one lantern festival in and they tell you be here when we open because it'll be there and we only have one, and then you go to check out and they mention that the computer is still ringing this up for free if you spend $100. So nice to your employee. So it was a double VIP points day plus a little bit off for damaged box. So yay, I'm very excited to get the lantern garden to add that to my Ninjago / town layout. So we'll see where it ends up fitting into the whole shebang, but I'm excited about it.
Cool.
It's a Lego miracle.
So many parts, so many things. And by the way, well, just take one more gander. Everybody check out that hot map on the wall. Do you see it? Look at there. It's just it's so gorgeous and amazing.
Oh yeah, I forgot. This came from Target too.
Oh.
Red Carnage. Oh, he's not in the room yet, but we'll have to show it off. If Red Carnage logs in, we will make sure he sees his namesake there. Welcome, Setburian. Is that how I said it? Seti. Anyway. And Classic Bricks is also here with us. All right. So thank you, Matt, for that. Let's go. Let's go here to the center square. How are you, Miss Pink Wheels? How are you today?
You're muted.
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 I need a
Wow,
gift.
this is like every meeting I have. Hey, can someone so reply? Yeah, they're muted. We ended up bringing like 8 sets to build with us on vacation, and we built one. So that's about it.
That sounds like a great vacation.
Yeah, we wore a child out, and she didn't feel like doing any Lego. So, but we, I ended up having a impulse buy of the Hogwarts mosaic, and I have to say, I'm not seeing the appeal, at least of the Hogwarts one, because like you get to these corners and you're just doing rows of gray and white, and I'm just like, yeah, this isn't fun. So that's about it.
Rose of Gray sounds kind of exciting for me, but that's a space.
One by one.
Oh, no, that's no fun at all then.
I thought rows of gray were what you say, how you describe your friends, but
No, that's why I talk about my my hairline.
Thou shalt not speak of the Ray.
Mayor of Millbrook, welcome to the chat. Brian Pennebaker, welcome. Classic Bricks, glad you're here. So glad y'all are joining us in the chat today. Let's go up to the Great White North, and see what's up there. How you doing, man?
Not too bad. Not too bad.
Are those proton streams?
I don't know, but I think with these, my dreams of proctology are dashed.
Oh, no. Or it's just added you a new feature.
That's right. Or I'm charging double.
In Las Vegas. Never mind.
Yeah, actually, I have had probably the most productive Lego week I've had in over a year, I guess. Yeah, it's been crazy. It's actually been like most nights kind of building away. I don't want to reveal the full thing. One of the backstories that kind Mr. Jeff McAwee, who's here, Unbearded Jeff, he's been inviting me into his stream for the last, better part of a month, and I haven't been able to make it. But last weekend or last Friday, I did. And he just threw out a challenge at the end to the people in, build a cyberpunk car. So I started just say, okay, I'm just going to build something small, but, and this is actually a topic I wouldn't mind to have for a later stream at some point, is builder's creep, right? Like we've all start something small. It's like, okay, maybe a little bit more.
That means.
Now it needs a set, now it needs, so anyway.
Hey, Alyssa.
That's what happened. But anyway, I'm going to save the majority of it for his stream. And then next, Monday or Thursday, I'm going to do some photography and show off the rest. But I'll just show off one thing, and that's the main car. So it's like a cyberpunk.
Good, man.
Sort of the idea is that it's like, it's kind of like a cyberpunk from like the game, that kind of aesthetic. But this is sort of like I kind of like how in Akira, how he stole that bike and then he like really like, he decoed it up and it was like the hottest thing on the road. This is kind of the same thing. Like someone stole like a Formula One car or a McLaren or something like that. And then mixed in some street rod racer, a little bit of Batman tumbler kind of thing. So yeah, so that's where he's going. So he's going to have someone to race, and then he's going to have somewhere to race. So stay tuned.
Oh,
yeah.
That reminds me. Do you remember when there was the IndyCar racer? It was sponsored by Elf. It was blue and white and had the 6 wheels. Do you remember that car from the late 70s, early 80s? That's right. Immediately where I went on that. That's awesome. And like that. They took that when they made Drag Strip as part of the Stunticons for Transformers, right? Yeah. And so that inspired this. So cool.
I think there's a chain there. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's superior. How long did you build that during the stream? Just that one car?
Oh no! I can't build during any kind of stream because the computer area is here. It's over there. You wouldn't even see me. So no, the car was built over like a night or two, and then the rest of it's been sort of every night since then. So
gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Oh, we got Moto in the chat. Hey Moto, how you doing, man?
Hey bud.
Good to see you. Through playtime.
I was gonna say what?
Hey Moto.
I want to know what playtime at Moto's house is. I think I want to go. I mean, I really do. All right, let's see. All right, let's go to our man with the mini Lego. What's up, Rich? How you doing today?
I'm doing good. I got my shirt yesterday.
Woo! Look at that.
I think it looks good with the blue.
Damn sexy.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, stop that.
I got a few more Sterilite bins. So now I've got 2 waiting in the wings over there. 2 stacks waiting in the wings over there by the door.
Good gravy.
Oh, quick there.
Oh!
No party foul.
So
Yeah,
Pennsylvania is not like
right.
an earthquake zone, right?
Right there.
Hopefully.
That's them.
I see them.
Those go. There. That's where they'll go because these are going to go there. Well, that stuff's going to happen.
Rich, I like how your shelves have the infinity floor on them. Looks like the Lego movie building. So that's pretty amazing, dude.
It's a labyrinth. Beware the Minotaurs and the Medusa and the other Gorgons. It'll be all right.
Awesome. All right. Did my mouse just die? My mouse just died. All right. Let's see. Let's go over. Okay, everybody, just prepare yourself for this. Something very strange has happened, and so and everybody, welcome whoever this is right here. Hello,
Imposter.
It's Peter Griffin, everyone.
Let me go full disclosure here. Let me just go full disclosure here. When we log in, you log in a little bit early, and guests start to filter in, and literally it was me and Mark and Boone, and Jeff pops in, and I make the comment of, look, it's all beards. And Jeff goes, I'll be right back. I got to take care of something.
No, he said, oh, you just reminded me. And then
That's it. That's what it was. And he goes off screen, and literally 30 seconds later, this shows up.
That's not what happened.
And I really wanted to see the curtain go up and then call 2319 and hose that guy and hair come over the curtain. That didn't happen. And so we missed it all. But what happened?
So look,
I think the beard got caught in a Chinese rice bag.
I took Emily out to sushi. We leave the sushi place, and ninjas come out of nowhere. Unfortunately, the beard didn't make it, but there's like 6 dead ninjas.
Did they choke on hair?
Or Yakuza?
Yakuza. So there'll be some ramifications for that.
It was Ninja Ghost.
I'm Irish, so there'll be problems.
Brett has a question. Are you getting ready for bikini season?
Absolutely. I'll have those Speedo shots up, no problem.
Oh, my. All right.
That's a different show. That's a different live stream.
Or it could be this show if we play our cards right, ladies and gentlemen.
I got my finger on the button right now. I got it. Let me just put a preliminary one up there. Let me just go ahead and... Okay, just making sure everybody knows that's at the ready. So
You need to save that for the OGB OnlyFans broadcast.
that's
No.
soon to not be OGB fans.
Oh my! Yeah, okay, all right.
Jeff, have you built Lego? Please tell me you built Lego.
Yeah, I did because I gave some friends of mine a build challenge, and I was staring at this for like 3 hours, and I went, I don't like motorcycles, but I like motorcycles. How can I make this into something more like a thing? So I made, I was calling it just like a cyber bike, but then Greg was like, dude, you made a cyber hog. And I thought about it, and I'm like, yeah, I did actually, because it's a big, beefy motorcycle that, here we are.
Awesome.
So
Super cool.
it looks like a mishmash of parts that have some sort of formularity, but it's cool. I like it. I didn't think that I still had it in me to build. Really, I think it's a really well done project. I like it a lot. So yeah,
it's like a Wyvern's Cyberhog.
Yeah, pretty
I like
much. And then I also got like a cool like minifig to go with it. Like he's like that bike he rides in the wasteland or something of whatever cyberpunk universe it is, and he's just there to scavenge for supplies. I guess I don't know. Maybe of course maybe more post-apocalyptic than cyberpunk, but I like it. So.
I like
keep those Canadians on the bottom.
We've lowered our Canadians. We got an extra Canadian showing up here. All right. Let's say hello to Boone. Boone, how are you today, man? It's good to have you here in the stream. What's up?
I am doing very well, thank you. I built this today. I built this today from plans that Lego prepared for me and everyone else in the world.
Do your surfboards fall off, sir?
What?
Do your surfboards fall off, sir?
Hold on.
Yep. The answer
this one stays on. Hold on. This one stays on. And when I put this one back on, this one falls off. So
a little double-sided paperwork.
I can only have one on at a time.
It's kind of like Sith Lords.
It's sort of like now it's on the left side and now it's on the right side. Oh, I don't know.
How can that happen?
I'm kidding. It's not that bad. It's actually quite swooshable, and if you hold it by the surfboards, you don't have any problem. But if you hold it anywhere else, oh, look at that! It's fine. No, it's only when you bump it.
Fine now.
But I was pretty pleased with that little build. I love that they put the windshield in upside down. Or I guess like studs angled downish. What else? I am working on a logo right now for Brickanista. She's doing a thing in May. I don't know if I can talk about it, but I'll just say it. May the clutch be with you. And I don't know what that's going to be. But she reached out to me and she liked my Imperial March logo. And she was like, hey, who made that? Because I've been struggling to make it look just right with the fonts that are available. And I'm like, yeah, you can't because the fonts are terrible. And they're good if you just want to write like Star Wars in a straight line. But as soon as you want to do anything with it, so I must be pretty close to having the entire alphabet now in that kind of slanty Empire Strikes Back look. So anyway, that's what I'm working on that digitally, and I don't know if I'll let her show it to you. I don't know if y'all know Brickanista, but she'll be doing that. I'm sort of leading up to May the Force be with you.
So Boone, if you ended up doing that, like all the different letters of say like individual files, could you then convert that into like a TTF of some sort?
You can, if you have the software the softwares that allow you to create fonts are actually really expensive. And I've looked a few times over the years, and I've never found like a great like open source one.
Yeah.
But you can get like how do I say it? You can get like a trial version of one or two of the softwares out there. So if you just if you want to crank out one quick font and you can do it in less than 14 days, then it's free. But there's a lot of art to it, because you basically
the kerning and all that stuff.
Yeah, because you don't want basically every character you input has to be able to not collide with every other character you put into it.
Right.
Anyway,
in Brick Snaps, I don't think that it's so much that Boone is a font snob. I would call him a font connoisseur at this point in time.
Yeah, and I've gone back and forth. Like I used to know the names of. At the end of college, I knew the names of 1,000 fonts.
Avant-garde
but
he's a font nerd.
Now I don't. I just like fonts and so anyway. So to answer your question, Greg, yes, but no. Like
Right.
Sorry.
No, I'm just saying it's totally a self-serving question because if you did, I'd love to have it.
Yeah, and that one would be tricky anyway. And the reason it probably doesn't exist is that it sort of inherently is slanted. So I suppose if you were to create a font out of it, you could create it like this, and then anyone working with that font would have to slant the whole thing. I don't know how it would work.
You can do that with any font today. I mean, if you're in Photoshop or Illustrator and you want something, you got to kind of tilt it if you're going to do that.
Yeah.
Do you know, Boone, do you know about the website blambot.com, a great comic book lettering website?
No, but that sounds awesome. Blambot?
It is amazing. He does a lot of pay, and then he does a lot of free fonts. blambot.com. He's a great guy.
That looks awesome.
They cross post to DaFont a lot too, as an aggregate. But Blambot has a lot of
he puts out some really quality free fonts, for limited commercial use, blah blah blah, all that stuff. But they're really good.
Yeah, really good. Yeah.
So Greg reminded me of a thing when you showed that. I love that model you showed, by the way. But it reminded me of this thing that I came across yesterday, and this was not a thing that I ever knew about except tangentially. But there was this thing in the early 80s called, and I'm going to say it, and I'm going to have no idea what kind of reactions I'm going to get here. Like, I know nothing about it other than what certain things look like. A movie called Megaforce.
Yeah.
Good, cool. That's a good reaction. So I knew the only frame of reference I had for Megaforce were the Hot Wheels. They made, yes, you just have that ready?
You need to know the story about Megaforce to this group. You can hear about that in a minute.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, the reason I recognized the vehicles was because Hot Wheels produced those vehicles, and then they kept producing them in different colors, because they had the molds. So like they produced them all through the 80s and they produced them in the 90s. But I was not, I had no awareness of the film Megaforce until like yesterday, because one of my friends posted something about how it was a meme that said something about like millennials. The definition of millennial is a person who latches onto one poorly rated film from the early 1980s and makes it their entire identity. And so there various people were like commenting on that, and there were a bunch of different things. And one person posted something about Megaforce, and it was the dune buggy thing from Megaforce. And then there was that other big sort of like weird RV thing that looked like a cross between like G.I. Joe and Masters of the Universe type vehicle.
Flying motorcycles.
And so
Megaforce was the G.I. Joe movie we got before there was a G.I. Joe movie.
Oh, okay,
and
great.
It was better.
Love it. So anyway, I guess I have to watch Megaforce now. And my question is, has anyone seen any Megaforce mocks? Because I immediately want to start building those vehicles.
I think we now have a new challenge.
I was about to say, did we just throw down a challenge for Old Great Bricks? It is Megaforce. It's done. You get your minifigs ready to go.
You get your tan, you get your brown. Yeah.
All right. So let's give it a month. You want to do a month Megaforce challenge? Any vehicle, anything, or even in the spirit of Megaforce competition right here, or not competition, challenge to build Megaforce vehicles. Everybody good with that?
Buttered grape.
I've already got something in mind, so I'm ready to rock.
Mark, do you want to give the quick lowdown to him about Megaforce? And there was a very important moment in 2006 at Brick Fair, the original Brick Fest, that involves Megaforce. Please go, Mark, and tell us the story.
I don't remember how we got started talking about it because it was something between several of us who knew each other going way back. We started talking about Megaforce for some reason. Maybe we were just talking about old 80s movies. I don't know.
What the hell is this movie? I just Googled it.
And look at the poster. The poster looks incredible.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Okay, you guys have survived this long without having been exposed.
All we know is The motorcycles shoot missiles like in Delta Force with Chuck Norris.
No, yes, except they're ST's rockets, but don't tell anybody.
Yeah. Why do they have wings? What the hell?
Yeah, it's the poster's great. It's almost like one of those old Drew Struzan posters from the 80s. But I don't know. Anyway, a bunch of us were sort of chatting about it, and yeah, that was that was really fun because we all saw it when we were like 7, 8 years old or whatever.
And I did not see it. What, 83? Did it come out in 83?
82.
Yeah. 82. And it didn't rotate. Apparently, it didn't make it to my small town theaters rotation because it got, out of the theaters. So I never saw it. So they were describing it to me. I'm like, I've got to see this movie. Go ahead.
It was on HBO all the time.
This is a movie that I begged my dad to take me to go see in 1982, and we walked out of it, and I was like, "That's awesome!" And my dad was like,
What was your dad's reaction?
My dad thought it was stupid. He was like, "That was stupid," because it's definitely a movie that an 8-year-old boy. It's awesome. It's got flying motorcycles and rockets and lasers and to an adult watching it, it's absolutely awful. Anyway,
amazingly awful.
I think it might have been Jason. Maybe downloaded it off the internet somehow. He found a rip of it or something, and so a bunch of us at Brickfest 06, a bunch of us space guys mostly, crammed into mine and Chris's room at the hotel, and we put it on my laptop and watched it together with beverages and just laughed and had a great time. It was really fun, and because it's the kind of movie that has a 2-drink minimum. So
yeah. And that was it. It was like some weird like coming of age scene in like a movie because like there's people like most of us are having some drinks. Some of us are pounding them back like it's water, disappearing behind couches, like to be found later on.
Just FYI, the Baptist me and the Mormon Ryan were sitting drinking root beer together while y'all were. Anyway, go ahead.
Yes. But Rye just got off some mega flight. Like, he can't stay awake for more than 33 seconds. So he's like the narcoleptic in the corner. Every time you look at him, he's going, and and there's people tripping over Lego. Like there's people laughing. There's people looking at like these tight buns in gold lame and
telling them not to put
comments.
Tell him your phrase that became your icon on Flickr for so long.
Yeah, I mean, I see what's his name. It's Brian, whatever
Barry
his name.
Barry Bostwick.
Barry Bostwick. Yeah, I see him there. He's walking away from the camera. And he's got if he's got a nickel in his back pocket, you can read the date. Like it's so tight, right? He's walking away, and of course, I'm a few drinks in at this point, and my Canadian accent is flowing like hot maple syrup, and. The first, I kind of, before I even know it's out of my mouth, I oh, look, with those, he could pick up a buttered grape. And yeah, that was like my icon for Avatar for about, well, it is now still, 20 years later. So,
buttered grape.
Yeah.
It was the best 2 hours or hour and 43 minutes runtime of my entire life. There were all these guys. It was dank. Steve was a lump of drunken flesh on the floor. But the movie itself, I mean, the ending scene, I won't want to spoil it for you, but it involves a projection, a curtain, and a motorcycle popping through it. So it's the worst effects ever. So amazing.
But still, you've got to have the quintessential scene of this movie. It's not going to ruin it for you at all.
No, we're not spoiling anything.
The images have already ruined this movie, but go on.
No, it hasn't.
It hasn't. The good guy, the day is won. The good guy comes back, goes up to the bad guy's tank, knocks on the latch, it pops open with this big, car salesman smile. It's like, I just came back to tell you the good guys always win.
Wow.
Like, you can't beat that. You can't beat it. It's, yeah, enjoy.
I'm so excited.
You'll love it.
I'm so
Jeff,
excited.
You'll hate it and love it.
Surely I can stream it somewhere, right?
Gotta be somewhere.
I'll be able to find it somewhere.
You will be able to find it. Brahm was there. Let's see. It was, in this room, me and Mark and I and Gil, Greg was there. And then in the chat, Brahm was there. Nick was there, I believe. And it was like the ultimate frat party / mystery science theater mixed in moment. Just dudes hanging out watching this terrible movie. It defined a generation. So it was.
It defiled a generation.
This defined a generation. This.
Awesome. Well, Chris is frozen. I was about to ask him if I could share one piece of news before we move on from me.
And yet his son showed up in the chat. Coincidence?
Oh.
You know what they say? It's better to ask forgiveness than ask permission. So I would just go ahead.
Yeah. I'm sorry. My internet went weird.
Yeah, it's cool. Well, Chris, can I share the news of my announcement?
Oh, absolutely.
I have just today announced. I haven't even officially announced it yet. I've announced it to my Patreon supporters, and I'm announcing it here that my weekly live stream has a date for returning to the YouTube and the interwebs. May 20th, Thursday, May 20th. It'll be 6 p.m. Pacific, which is 9 p.m. Eastern time. So anyone watching this stream, if you want to keep watching Lego streams all night, you can roll right from here over to Boone Builds on May 20th. And people are asking if that's AFOL Spotlight Live. It is a live stream that is at least born out of the spirit of AFOL Spotlight Live. I have not decided yet if it will actually continue to be titled AFOL Spotlight Live or not. So that is to be determined. But yes, my weekly live stream is returning May 20th.
Cool.
So thanks.
Right. That date will do what?
Ow! Just why this movie?
What?
I think he's watching Megaforce.
Watching the movie.
It's gonna be great. I was on an
Just having
episode.
a meltdown.
But just why this?
I think he needs a timeout.
Did he just realize he shaved his beard off? Is that what just happened? Or
I think so.
It's possible.
That's awesome, though, man.
Hey,
That's
Boone.
great. That's really good.
Boone, I have a question for you. Well, we watched your award show. Was there like a fire occurring at your house? You had to wrap up that award show in 30 minutes because holy cow, you booked through that stuff. I was blown away. I was like, this is going to take an hour, but no, it didn't. You were like, that was something else.
Danny was like, what was the problem? I was like, what do you mean? And she was like, you kept like saying the wrong thing and you were calling X-Wings Y-Wings.
Yeah,
She was like, you seemed like you were like thinking about something else the entire time. And I was like, oh, I don't know. I think it was just the fact that like I had created this slideshow and I have never had any practice of like delivering a slideshow via live stream. So I was just like, because my thought was it's going to take an hour and a half to get through this. So I'm thinking like, I just got to like plow through this. And it ended up, I finished the stream and it was like 28 minutes. And I was like, oh, I guess I'll go eat dinner early.
I thought maybe you were running out of your internet connection after 30 minutes. You know, they're going to cut you off or something.
I was running out of oxygen or something because I can't bring myself to rewatch it. Because I'm just afraid of what it was like after I went, because I felt fine about it. I walked inside and, you know, the only thing that I thought was like, maybe I made a few mistakes in like people's names or the names of ships or like maybe I felt like I hadn't engaged the live chat as much as I wish I had.
You only had like 800 people watching.
I think it was only it was just over 100, right?
100.
something like that. So yeah. So thanks for watching, and sorry it was weird. I think I don't know. I had put all this time into the presentation, and then it hadn't occurred to me that I might want to like practice running through the presentation once before doing it, which probably would have helped a lot. So then it was like once the stream started, I was just like, I just gotta get through this presentation. Because in my mind I know how many slides there are.
Right.
And so I guess I overcompensated, but
because of all the presentations to mess up Y-Wing and X-Wing, that was the presentation to do it.
Yeah, the crazy thing is I had no idea until I walked inside and Danny said, people were saying you were saying X-Wing instead of Y-Wing. And I was like, what? I was like, what are you talking about? And I guess it was because like I know what a Y-Wing is and I know what an X-Wing is. So it was totally just like stream brain, like brain not connected to mouth saying the wrong thing and being completely oblivious of it.
Yeah.
But anyway, congratulations, Dana, for your win, and congratulations to the other nominations from folks in this group. And Maddie was one of my judges. So thank you all, and thank you for watching.
Thank you.
As a teacher, I can tell you what you were doing. You were thinking 2 slides ahead about what was coming up while you were talking.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. So, I mean, I do that sometimes when I'm teaching and the student will raise their hand and say, what did you just say? And I'll be like, oh no.
Yeah, exactly.
It happens.
So, yeah. You're messing up Star Wars now. Wait till after Megaforce. Yep. Cool. Awesome.
But Boone, I just want to say that I did not enter the contest, so I have no dog in this hunt, but I was actually really impressed with the quality of the entries. And and I think, if you're talking about possibly being like an annual event, but I would encourage you to do so. It was actually a lot of fun to see what people had entered. And I mean, next year, maybe you could make the award show 45 minutes and show all of the runners up. I mean, because there was good stuff there that was runners up.
Well, that one was 45 minutes. He just got it done.
Yeah. And I learned so much from it. And I mean, the one thing that I've learned over and over again over the last year, before that, I really wasn't reaching enough people for contest entries to be in the quantities that caused difficulties. So it's been in about the last year that every time I try to do some kind of build challenge, just the managing the pictures and the names of the creators, and then particularly this one because it was on multiple platforms and people have different aliases on the different platforms, it was a big challenge. And I think the main thing that I took away from this one is really like there has to be a more concrete way for people to submit their entries. Oh, thank you very much, Brett. Appreciate it. Brett built a great, he was one of the nominees in one of the categories. Thanks, Brett. So I think next year it'll probably be like, I think the hashtag will be a less of an emphasis. Like maybe it'll be, Imperial March Lego or Imperial March 22 or something like that with a hashtag. But the official entries will have to go through some kind of form on my website or something like that for my giveaways. I would not discourage anyone from running their own kind of, giveaways for that kind of thing. And I love that Simon Liu had the idea very early on in the month to do that. So that was a lot of fun.
Have you thought about a Discord?
No, I haven't, but that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Who's the dude that built the Boba Fett car and garage? Because I want to high five that guy.
That's Dallin. Dallin Powell, I believe, is from Ulug, Utah. And that was, I said in the stream, there was only one time that I broke a tie. Otherwise, all of those winners were chosen by my panel of judges. But they chose Dallin's, whatever that was called, the Fett Rod or something.
That's Fett.
As the winner of whichever platform that was, I think Instagram. And I think that was one of my favorites across the board. I'm super biased toward Boba Fett. He's my favorite Star Wars character, and I love cars, and I love the concept of mashing up themes with cars and doing that thing. So that just really hit me in a real personal spot. But I was pleased that my judges also felt that same way for the platform that he entered on.
Well, on top of all that, the build was just like chef's kiss. Mwah. It was perfect, like.
Yeah, you guys got to follow him. I think he's no Bricks Insight, KNOW Bricks Insight on Instagram.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, dude.
I think he builds primarily digitally. So most of what you see on his Instagram are renders, but I've just really loved his stuff. We met for the first time, I think, at Bricks Cascade 2020.
Well, I will say we did something that actually was super fun. When we logged out of our show when you started yours, we then started the chat over in StreamYard again. And about a couple of minutes in, I realized I hadn't hit record, but I got it. I got all most of the nominations and stuff. So we watched it live as you were doing it, and we were the peanut gallery cheering for folks and ooh and on and everything. And that was hyper fun. That was
awesome.
It was super fun. Then we got cheer on Dana and everything. So that was a load of fun to do. So, in fact, I think I've got that video recorded somewhere. I might have to take snippets out or whatever. But it was really fun. We just ported it in the screens and we watched it together. So that was a lot of fun. Yeah. Super fun. So good deal.
I think one of my favorite things about Dana's entry, Holly's entry, Dallin's entry are, you sort of have in your head, I think there is kind of the general imagination around like what Star Wars Lego looks like. I think you can take probably 90% or more of all the sets that have ever been released from Lego in Star Wars, and they've got this color scheme, right? And there's a few outliers, right? But I love, when I build Star Wars, I love to build stuff that could exist in the Star Wars universe, but that we've never seen before.
Sandbox.
And Dana's was an unbelievable example of something that does exist in some version of the canon or whatever, but is like so radical, So I thought that was really wonderful. Holly did, the same thing, or not the same thing, but something similar. And then Dallin,
the Japanese card.
Yeah,
that was fantastic.
Yeah,
well, I thought the Meredith entry of Thrawn was pretty good too. Like that's how I always envisioned his office to look.
Absolutely,
and the fact that she nailed it that much was just
that
blew my mind. Because when I first read the books, like way back when, that's how I saw his office. That's how I saw his private museum or whatever. And I thought that was like dead on. So that's just me though.
Yeah, and Meredith, you took that from Rebels, right? Was that picture in Rebels?
A little bit Rebels, a little bit imagination.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome. Good job. Anyway, I just, I know that the Star Wars Lego fans range from, what types of creations they're going to get enthusiastic about, and I really enjoy the outside the box thinking on the Star Wars stuff, and I feel like this build competition created a space for those types of creations while also leaving plenty of room for the people who really want to build the pure replicas, so anyway, so thank you for the varying levels of engagement that you participated in Imperial March.
And now we'll bring that spirit into the glory that is Megaforce. So, did we? When my internet crapped out, did we set a date, or do we want to do it on May the 20th?
We decided not to do it while your internet crapped out. We were like,
that's not true. That's not true. That is a McElwee falsehood.
Look,
we haven't had any of those tonight so far.
He might be a national treasure for television, but he's not right here. He's totally wrong. He's 100% wrong. Don't listen to Boone. He doesn't know what he's talking about. We all decided Megaforce, man, and then we'll just pass on it.
Okay.
Yeah. So
other than Jeff and his unbearded.
Look, I'm as old as that movie, and I don't like it. Okay.
By the way, if you are here in the private chat, my formerly bearded friend here has provided or cursed you with a link to take care of what you need to take care of.
Do it make a trailer?
No, it's the thing.
Oh,
Full movie.
It's the entire thing. Are you actually watching it now, Jeff? While it's
No, I didn't send you the link to the film. I sent you the link to the trailer, but I also found like the worst effect shots, like stilled in pictures, and was like, yeah, okay, all right.
There's actually just one more. I don't want to make. We can't just keep going on about Megaforce, or maybe we can, but we shouldn't. But the one thing too that makes it so big for people of our age is that it was for 1982. It was probably on the back of 90% of every Marvel comic.
Oh yeah.
Like it was literally like it was prevalent everywhere. And whoever was, pushing that movie, man, they sunk the money into pushing out the ads for it. And then after that, like you were saying, there was the toys, and the toys, the product that they sold afterwards. It wasn't, I don't think, the Hot Wheels stuff. It was the model kits they had for those. They followed
after somebody at Hot Wheels said we have to make our money back somehow.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking at the Wikipedia page, and it looks like it was funded by Golden Harvest, the Hong Kong,
I believe that's correct.
which that was trying to be their big foray into moving into the U.S. market. I guess it didn't happen. They dumped a bunch of money into it.
That's the
No,
emoji.
All right, let's see. Jeff has joined us. Jeff and Wyndon. Let's just take a check in there, and then we will get to Mr. Sandlin, I believe, and then we'll go to our old grace set of the week. But let's. What's up, Mr. Oh no, I hit the wrong button. Hey man, how are you?
Hi guys. So Boone was talking about that car a few minutes ago, and I built a red version a while ago. Surfboards stay on okay. I built a blue version a while ago. Surfboards stay on okay. While Boone was talking, I built this one because I had gotten it too. The only time it ever happens is if you hit the very bottom of underneath of the surfboard. But everybody's complaining about it, and I have, like, once in a while it'll fall off, but it's not as continuous. So anyway,
it's frozen.
Maybe it's because I have Canadian Lego and you guys have American Lego. I don't know.
Oh, burn.
That's like healthcare.
It's like Canadian Oreos.
Well, yeah, healthcare. Yeah, maybe it's the healthcare. Who knows?
Hey,
But anyway,
even if had a shot, at least one. Never mind. I'm not going to go there.
yeah.
If I only
That's why
had
we're on the bottom. We have 0.
But you have a really, really, really good-looking prime minister.
Sure.
That's how it is with all Canadian men, Meredith.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with your prime minister.
Okay, Jeff, please show us some Lego before.
Yeah, I can. Hold on 2 seconds. I did show Lego technically, but I mean, I can go over to this. I'm rebuilding the center of the of my hanger. Hopefully, finish that this week because I've got my parts. Yay!
Awesome.
But I haven't had a chance to work on it. It's been a little crazy for the past few days, so you know. But yeah, that's all the Lego I have right now, I think.
Cool.
Awesome.
That is looking. I can't wait till you get that in the shelf there with your final display. That's amazing. Amazing.
Yeah, I want to give Rob Hendricks drop him a line and see what kind of life lights would work well, because I haven't used, like, I've got the original life lights from years ago, and they're very low powered and stuff, and I want to know what he's got these days, because I wouldn't mind. I think I need to light that from the inside just to give it that extra feel, or that extra look.
Cool.
So, and then I got to build some vehicles and some lifters for the containers and stuff. I think Mark's asleep.
All right. Let's see, Mr. Sandlin, what's up in your world, buddy?
He's sleeping. Let him be.
What is this?
Wake up!
Or is he just frozen? Maybe he's frozen.
I thought he was actually fooling me or something.
No, he texted that he's having some weird StreamYard issue at the moment. So
This is his Zen state.
Let's go back and enjoy for a moment.
This reminds me of Weird Science, where she freezes the grandparents. Oh, they're comfortable. They're just resting.
It almost looks like his face has been digitally altered, like just that his eyes have been removed digitally.
Well, it's like the Matrix.
Oh my gosh.
They're just a little gauzy blur.
That's so weird. I wonder if I should try to remove him from screen and maybe he could log back in. So anyway, why don't you let's go to Dana. You can do the old gray set of the he just left. Maybe he'll pop back in. All right. Let's go to Dana. What's up in your world, buddy?
So I kind of wish Mark was here for this, but we'll persevere without him. So I won't talk about what I was working on with Mark, but we'll move on to something else. So maybe.
Joe. I don't know.
Buffering.
Spinning.
Does anybody else hear the like 1080 or the baud modem going off? Can't remember.
Now he's more crystal.
His eyes opened for a second.
There was movement.
Now he's just content.
We need proof of life, Mark. We need proof of life.
He's probably texting us. All right.
Evidently Douglas Phil is not doing well today.
That's weird. All right, Dana, just continue. Let's go to your old gray. What's up in your world first?
So I've been sorting bricks. That's been my thing lately. So not a whole lot of builds. I'm supposed to be doing a lug challenge this week. Actually, today it is expiring this evening at midnight, and I didn't build there at this time. So
I'm not either.
Fair enough. Good luck to you. Hopefully you'll have something in there. But what I've been doing has been sorting, and then Mark or Chris had actually shown this, I think a week ago or so. The guy on he's on Twitter. He's not on Instagram. He's on Twitter. Is SDK_3. He does these really cool little megabot type bot things, and so I built a blue version of the egg bot, which is kind of cool. And I love the legs on this thing because it screams Masamune Shiro from Appleseed, the Gygus mechs. The land mats, so it's got a very Shiro feel to it all the way. I did add the optional backpack for whatever rations, food, whatever you're going to be going on a long haul through the desert wastelands. Add this nice little Saburo rifle here too, and then of course, and Mark, if you're here, you'll appreciate this. I added a little minifigure inside.
Oh, there he is.
And Blue Hands has a new uniform. Pop him out. Come on, Blue Hands.
He's stuck. Haha.
Oh, no, he's coming out. He wants to show off.
Sure he does.
To Chris. He wants to show off to Chris. Oh, there he comes. So Blue Hands has a nice little miner helmet. I think that's from Rock Raiders or Miners, something like that. But he is sporting the old classic red helmet or red and black jacket, and he's happy.
Very nice. Very nice.
Blue Hands has
the oxygen mix just right.
The Blue Hands has got a new ride and a new uniform, so he is all excited. But other than that, that's all I got going on for Lego this week. Continuing, going to sort over for the next couple of weeks, probably getting rid of some inventory to put it back in there, so I can actually start building again instead of trying to think, oh, I know I've got those pieces. They're in a bag that needs to be sorted. So let's move on to this week's Old Gray Brick Set of the Week. Old Gray Brick Set of the week. Man, you guys are horrible this week.
Week.
7144-1, the Slave One. I felt this was kind of necessary, and I had it actually in the pocket for last week, but because it was, we were doing Boone's challenge and everything like that, but we skipped the Old Gray Brick Set of the Week because we were just going to be doing the Old Gray Bricks mock challenge before Boone did his release, because Chris needed to feel like he had some sort of achievement before we moved on to somebody else's contest. But anyway, talking about Slave One, Star Wars theme, episode 5, I guess. I have 2,000 or 200, but it's actually supposed to be 2,000. So minor screenshot fail. Thank you, Chris.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I hit the wrong
no, you're not sorry. Anyway, a whopping 166 pieces, 2 minifigures, technically one, but we'll let it slide on the fact that they consider Han Solo and Carbonite as a second minifigure.
They do.
They do. Retail price for this bad boy in 2000 was a whopping $20. So $2,020. Go figure. Used price will run you about $135, which is kind of crazy. And if you can, actually, you know what? I've got that reversed. In box, it's $135. Used is $60. So you want to go ahead and flash the fail again?
Nah.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Okay. Why is it cool? Because Boba Fett, right, Boone? Absolutely. It's got Boba Fett. Second reason why it's cool? Because it's
all right. I was muted. I was definitely agreeing with you there. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Really cool.
Boone went for a snack.
There, he's got his box with him. Oh yeah, look at that gloriousness. I actually still have my boxes in the basement, but I didn't pull it out for this evening's episode. There we go. Why is it cool? You got Han Solo and Carbonite. Even though it's not really a great looking minifigure, the new one looks much, much better in the updated versions, but it's still kind of cool back then. And then, of course, the trans black windscreen canopy extender, which I think only came in this set or maybe one other set too. So that was another nice addition. So
in trans black, they didn't come in one set.
Yeah.
I think you
so,
can yeah.
And I do have mine with me here today because it's normally on the shelf. It's a little dusty. I tried to clean it. You can probably see the dust on the screen, even though it's kind of grainy. But this
dust is huge.
The dust is huge. This I always say that it was Benny's spaceship that brought me out of my dark age. But really, this was like my pre-dark age Emergil. Because when I walked through, I don't know whether it was a Toys R Us or a Walmart or a Target or something like that, and I saw this, it promptly went into my basket or cart or whatever it was and came home because this was a must-have. It is chunky. It is blocky. The colors are all wrong. But you got your Boba Fett figure, and you got your gangway that came down, and your Han Solo and Carbonite that come out. Any good Star Wars fan in 2000 had to pick one of these up. So that's it for your overmix of the week.
That set, like one of the best things, the value, man. $20.
Oh yeah.
Even in that, even accounting for inflation, that's a lot of fun for $20.
Yeah.
Even with the price increase due to the licensing theme, 166 pieces, $20. You're good to go.
Yeah. It's just
very
really
readily
fun.
available too.
Yeah. I mean, I remember I got about 7 of those because when a store here was going out of sale, it was a true buy one get one half off or whatever. So I just like clean them out. Yeah, that's right, Jeff. Yeah. It's like, but I mean that set too. Like it's got so many just basic parts, basic blocks, basic thing, and it's got my favorite canopy of all time. So yeah.
Yeah, that extender. If I recall that extender piece, the canopy extender, it came every time it came in a set. It was in a different color, and it only came once in that color. So every time it showed up, it showed up. And the best one was when it showed up in gray in the ATSD. And man, I bought a bunch of those. I've got so many of those. And then they got rid of that
finger hinge
like a year later. But the only set that had the classic space window and smoke was the UCS Snowspeeder the next year that actually mixed both systems. And I had one of those, and those canopies, man, I sold those a few years ago for like $100 a piece. And the dude that bought them was like, I need pictures to make sure it's authentic because there was, clone brand versions and stuff, and they were. But yeah, that's I love that extender piece because it goes all the way back to classic space. Which everyone who laughs at the first line of Star Wars they don't understand. For us classic space builders growing up, those were some of the pieces we needed to make the shapes we wanted to make the classic space universe expand, and it was a treasure trove of slopes and corner slopes and things like that.
And because the fact that, and I'd forgotten, I did look that up, that piece only ever comes in one set.
Yep.
So, in Futuron, it was in the monorail. In was it Aqua Force? You got your trans neon one, or the orange neon one. This one you get the gray. in such a great piece, and you couldn't get it except for in one set.
And with that canopy in the extender too, do you remember we used to build?
But I'm just going to give him the hardest time I can right now.
Because if you were going to make a snow speeder, you needed it.
That's not Aquaforce.
Yeah.
You said
Aquaforce. Oh yes, Jeff, that's a snow speeder.
I know. Yes, exactly. I too like Star Trek.
All right, Boone, relax.
Do you remember the guy who used to build space way back, Joel? He later went by Molly, actually.
Yeah.
And he was like one of the original, like, amazing space builders, stuff that blew your mind. And he did this amazing ship where the majority of the ship was kind of like flat and angled on top, and then underneath the entire livable area and cockpit was underslung. And he used those canopies and extenders to do this amazing curved cockpit that was inset into it. It blew my mind. And I mean, I've looked for that thing again. I'm sure that if I found it again, it would hold up today, even 20 years later. But whenever I see that cockpit, I always think, that thing has some real possibilities, because what people would do is, even though it had studs on top of the extender, they would put like a couple like 1x4 tiles interspaced across. So it ended up actually looking like this heavily armored cockpit window. So cool piece. Really cool.
That's cool.
All right. Oh, hey, have y'all seen the new space polybag? I went to Target today, and the new space polybag, no stickers, no anything. Have y'all not seen this? It's pretty amazing. I don't know if anybody's talked about it, but here it is. Look at there. This is amazing. It is a Duplo polybag to make a space rocket. Look at that little shooting star. Whee!
Chris, that's a great red rocket that you built, bud.
I don't know what that means. Anyways.
There was a trans yellow brick there, though.
Is that trans yellow?
Yes,
oh, that's good.
Look at that.
That's good.
That's why he bought it.
Yeah.
That is exactly why he bought it.
Yeah.
No, I bought it for that joke. Literally, I was like,
I'm like, it's very rare for Chris to find a polybag before I do. What's going on here? Oh, here we go.
There's a new Duplo NASA set with a shuttle that looks actually pretty good.
That actually looks really cool.
I'm in. I'm going to buy that set. It's hands down.
I want one of those. I don't know why, but I want one of those.
I have to have one of those. Yeah. Somebody sent it to me, and I thought, is this an April Fool's joke? Because it was April 1st. And they're like, no, here it is from Lego.com. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Got it.
So cool. All right. So, which just gave me an idea. There was that Duplo Tulo trans yellow canopy. There needs to be some Duplo classic space, don't you think? I think I need to figure that out. So, look at there.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah. There needs to be some Duplo classic space. I got to figure that out now. Dadgummit. I don't want to.
All right. Hey, fellas, I'm going to take off, so I'll see y'all later.
Jeff,
have a nice night, everybody.
Jeff, thank you for sharing your chin with us. We appreciate it. And our first look at the fresh crop. That was great. Thank you.
Thank you for keeping your Megaforce opinions to yourself.
I'll make sure that I keep those opinions to myself from here on out about Megaforce.
Megaforce is awesome. Please don't make fun of it.
Megaforce be with you.
Wait. Let's all give Jeff the thumb kiss.
There we go. Actually, and you just renamed the contest because Megaforce Be With You is now the name of this contest. It has to be now. That is amazing.
When we present our builds for this contest, we all have to be wearing a headband. That's the only stipulation.
And we will rate them by how many thumb kisses it gets.
I mean, 5 thumb kisses. All right. Good night, everybody.
Jeff. All right. So, look at there. That canopy right there that Rich has got. I've got that in trans yellow. So that's going to have to happen. All right. There we go. All right. So let's switch to our topic today: the good, the bad, and the ugly. The good this week is we got our first glimpse at who is in, and the announcement that Lego Masters Season 2 is coming, and we knew that, and then they threw out a a teaser reel, and faces were seen, and people were seen, and we are excited to see some friends that we know. And we'll talk about the folks that we know. And if you in the chat saw somebody like, oh, he's in my lug or she's in my whatever, let us know somebody you saw in the in that little trailer so we can pick apart who it is. But we only want to give if you're sharing information, it's only any information you know from that little trailer. We don't want to get anybody in hot water or anything who may or may not be on the show. Well, if you didn't make through the auditions, we can talk about that. But anyway, I don't know about that. But we'll just go ahead and say we're excited. I was excited to see some mutual friends of ours here in Georgia. Mark and Steven are brothers. Mark works at Atlanta Brick Company here in town, and he was sitting as the camera panned and then showed his brother Steven. And Steven then was like saying something like, oh, wow, or something like that. And it was a total Steven moment. If you've ever met that guy, he's a great guy. Yeah. So we're excited to see those guys because they're amazing builders. They started their career on the internet long ago, LARPing with cardboard and duct tape. And that was their homeschool projects, which was amazing. And then super amazing castle builders and fantasy builders. And by the way, Mark, if you're listening, we all love Nixon Knights. Anyway, so because he can't stand them.
So, I just want to share one little anecdote about the brothers.
Sure.
So they always do pretty elaborate castle layouts at Brick Fair, Alabama. And it was like day 3 or something. And I happened to walk over to their table and they had added this like sort of, I think it was a church in kind of a castle style, like a Gothic style. And I said, I really like this church that you've done. And they said, yeah, we kind of realized we wanted one. So we built it on Thursday after we got here.
Yeah. That
I was like,
horribly awesome those two guys are.
Yeah,
okay, I feel really dumb now.
Yeah. They get along well with each other. Growing up together, they build well together. They even have competitions against each other, making cool minifigs on Flickr. They're super neat. But they are amazing builders, super nice guys too. I want
to say that they're around 20, 21. I think is their age. I think probably close to that.
I'm going to say 25, 23. I'm thinking that's about the age.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm. I think they're yeah. I'm not that old. They're not that old. I mean,
they were 21 when you met them the first time, probably.
No, because I recall there being a conversation about them not being old enough to drive up to a lug meeting that we were talking about. So I don't know. I'm and college age type frame, so I'm still gonna go around 21, 22-ish area. So
okay,
I could be wrong.
Oh, we could be all stalkerish and Google them.
I don't know if he's got his birthday on his Facebook page. Anyway,
either way, they're low 20s is where we're at.
So we're not telling tales out of school. They were both in the trailer, and we're excited. It's exciting to know personally somebody in the show, and so they didn't let us know anything. So I'm excited. Those guys, I'm excited to see what they've built and everything. We'll talk about maybe some of the things that we've seen in there. All right, and somebody else want to say somebody that they've seen in the trailer.
Well, there was somebody who was in the feed earlier. Did Moto leave?
He may have left. We did happen to see what seemed to be Moto in the trailer. And actually, Brett Hooper's picture that he put on Instagram or on social media yesterday had me going, holy cow, that's Moto. And where did that picture come from? Is there a trailer out? To which Julian said, he sent me, yeah, there's a trailer. So I dug it out and watched it to get this information. So what? There it is. All right, so we can't confirm or deny that Moto, someone looking like Moto, possibly a robotic Moto. Although if you ever seen him on a stream and when his Connecticut or wherever his Colorado internet starts to break down, Moto actually sounds like a robot cranking down. It's really funny. So it could be a robotic copy of
but that's just going against the whole grain of the fact that Moto is robot? Hello, Moto. I mean, isn't he just a robot anyway? I mean, saying it's a robot of a robot, isn't that just kind of double redundant?
It could be. It could be. Now, I also know that we follow Moto, and then was it Modo with a D? That's a really good robot mecha builder. Isn't that his name that we follow?
Yeah.
So we're like, did you see what Moto? All right, you got to enunciate that. Who? But anyway, all right. So, hey, Brickzar is here. Cy O'Connor is here. Jesse's Brick Galaxy is here. And joining us in the chat. Thank y'all for joining us. We're glad you're here. Shy Time is my time, man. Welcome. Good to have you here. All right. So, anybody else, maybe somebody you recognize, or you're like, I think that was somebody, because it's nice to know that people we know in the community are scooped into this thing. And Boone, we're excited that you're joining us here. You were in the original one. It's good to have gotten to know you since then and everything. Tell me your thoughts that you can when you saw that little trailer.
Oh, I thought it was great. I started having PTSD immediately. No, but really, the thing that blew me away is just how it looks. It looks exactly the same as I remember it, which is wild for reasons. And glad to see that our host and Brick Masters are back. That's good for continuity of the program in the long run, I think. I am very excited about some of the challenges that look a lot different. How do I say this? When we were competing during the first Lego Masters Fox competition, we heard rumor of potential wearable mock challenge, and it never came to pass. So I'm excited.
It was awesome. I think that's going to be a great episode.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see that one. There was looked like a challenge on an earthquake plate, which I think we saw in season 2 of Australia, I believe. So that could be a fun challenge. What other challenges were sort of obvious?
There was that dragon. The one that really struck me was this dragon thing that looked like it was swimming or moving. That looked really cool.
So, and then there was one, I think there was one really tight shot of so there's a swan, the swan flying. I'm playing it. You guys can't hear it, can you, if I play it?
No.
There's things moving, people throwing stuff at. So there's one thing that I'm interested in is the bang. They're doing the bang again. So I don't know I don't know how they're going to make that different from the season 1 version of that challenge. I'm sure it will be different. They don't tend to do the same thing twice in a row. But there's this one. Okay, so the dragons maybe, and this other one. This is all pure speculation. Okay, the dragons, and then the frame right after the dragons is sort of like a big paint bucket explosion thing going through a street scene. So that looks to me like a parade float kind of challenge. Maybe the dragon is part of that, maybe not. But that would be a really fun challenge. It's funny, Tricky Bricks just did a parade float challenge on their channel just I don't know, maybe a month ago or something like that.
Rich won something with that. Didn't you have a great parade float thing you did?
I converted one of my custom mock buses into a Japanese cherry blossom festival float. There was a local Wamalug Masters Tuesday night get together, and the challenge was make a float. So I took one of my previous vehicles and hyped it up pretty good. It's on my Instagram if you want to see.
So Boone, I got a question because there's been some speculation that a lot of the challenges that were in season 1 were almost ports from the Australian season 1. And so there's been speculation that season 2 might also take direct challenges from Australia in season 2 into season 2.
There's a lot of overlap right now. There have now been seasons in. I think the very first was in the UK. That I think was the most different to all of what we've seen. There was a Germany. I think that was quite different. But once we hit Australia, it was sort of like they landed on the formula, and everything since Australia, to my knowledge, has been much more like Australia.
Right.
But what I think that's a common, I don't want to say misconception, because there certainly is some truth to that statement, that like there's a lot of, similarities. But there is not even one challenge from the season 1 of Fox that is an exact copy of any season 1. There may be 4 or 5 challenges that were inspired by Australia. Maybe 3 of those were very similar as far as like the challenge and the rules.
Right.
And then I think a good, we had another 5 full challenges, and there were 2 sort of like mini challenges. So if you count all of those, I think there were 5, 6, or 7 challenges that were completely original as compared to Australia. And then even the ones that were very similar, they wanted to do something different, because the United States version did not want to just be a copy of the Australian version.
Yeah.
But that being said, it is the same international production company producing all of them, and they are all tied to Lego. So, there is, from what I understand, there is some amount of collaboration between the versions in what worked well, what's worth trying again, what definitely did not work well. So the Americanized version of Australia, what does that say?
Oh,
you don't have to show it again.
That's Nick. Americanized version of Australian stuff is generally better. Examples: Vegemite and kangaroos. Anyway,
Nick being Nick.
Nick being Nick. That's right. Well, I will say, let's just say that Dana and I were attempting to attempt to be on the show, and we got ghosted after a while. But we, of course, were like, well, we got to see what's on the Australia show to know what's coming. And so a couple of the challenges that seemed really cool and different was the hanging brick challenge, where there was basically a wire hanging down from the ceiling and looked like a 2x10 brick, Technic brick hanging there, and you built something off of that.
Oh.
And we scary. Yeah, but it seemed amazing, and then the builds were very cool. And one was a tank where you built something that was on a platform. They lowered into the water, and then it had to interact with the water. Mm-hmm. But the best one, I think, was the walkaway hero explosion, which I would love to see, where you put your hero. They put their hero out front, and it was the scene in the movie where the hero's walking away. And there were 3 different kinds of explosion. One was glitter, one was powder, and one was water. And those were really, really, really fun. So it'd be cool to see those ported over. Obviously, if they're not, that's cool. And then there was the Star Wars build. They got to build their own custom Star Wars ship, and that seemed fun. So maybe we'll see those. Who knows?
So were those Australia season 2 challenges?
Season 2 challenges.
So there was no Star Wars in season 1 of Australia.
Correct.
And there was in season 1 of United States. I don't know, but I would be surprised if there was another Star Wars challenge.
Yeah.
But I would not be surprised if they were able to extend something like that, like the Star Wars ship challenge, to another IP. If they were able to get, it seems like Marvel would be a decent guess.
Megaforce would be amazing.
Megaforce would be awesome. Man, I do not know how I did not know about Megaforce before, because it just looks incredible.
It's the absolute worst and amazing at the same time.
Hey, before anyone else starts, I just want to say thank you guys. I'm going to go ahead and head in and hang out with my family. So thank you so much. You're all wonderful, and I appreciate getting to spend time with you.
Yeah, man. Thank you for coming by. Really appreciate it.
All right, sweet. See you later.
All right.
May the Mega Force be with you.
Megaforce be with you. It's
Oh,
all
we
about
need
the pause.
him to make us. We need him to make us a logo now. Mega.
You got to put that pause after the Megaforce be with you.
Or just
He
have
needs to make
May and
promo
scratch
for-
it out and put cheesy 80s Mega Force be with you.
So
I'll look at that
for anyone that was watching when Boone first started talking about the show, you might have noticed that he was speaking very slowly with each syllable having a William Shatner pause. And that's because each word that he said had to be cleared through the censors at Fox. And so that was the delay. So that's
the shot collar would have gone off, and that would have been embarrassing. There would have been
I did find it very entertaining that he had to refer to it as the Lego show that Fox did.
Yeah, right. He's trained well. I mean, he understands the deal. So
yeah, that was that was
I
the big game in January.
Right. That's right. That's right. The superb owl. Yeah.
Can you imagine what his beard would look like after the shot collar went off? I mean, it would be like
it would look like Jeff. Anyway.
Old Jeff.
Old Jeff. Right. All right. So anybody else? I don't know if anybody in the chat or anybody noticed or recognized anybody else. But we're friends with Moto. We're friends with the Castle Bros down in south of Atlanta. So we're excited for them, and we're excited for all the contestants. It looks like maybe they dug deep into the adult fan of Lego world. So that's the good for the week. Let's talk about for a second the bad. And I don't have a lot of dogs in this hunt, but the uglies coming at the end, and we just have to say one word and sign off because it was so bad. But the bad this week was the and I hate Boone couldn't be here for this part because he participated in the BrickLink adult fan design program. The first round, he had this really amazing fire truck that seemed quite popular. But so the story is that a builder who has made creations that Lego have built before, the old fishing shack, is that right? So this particular AFOL, great design, made this great old fishing shop or whatever. It's very popular. So then apparently had other designs and licensed them. And y'all make sure I'm saying this correctly. Licensed them to a clone producing brand called BlueBrik, and they produced some of his designs for time. And then when this second round came in, this particular user then resubmitted those designs to Lego. And then it seems Lego found out that at one time those were being built by that clone brand, and they pulled the plug on the entire thing. All right. So tell me what your opinions are on that. I mean, I have mine, but what do you think Lego was right? Do you think they were wrong? Do you think the builder was right or wrong? What do you think?
I mean,
Yes.
Go ahead, Matthew.
I mean, I think Lego has every right to protect their intellectual property, and anybody who's a designer has the right to sell their designs to whoever they want to. So, I mean, people are going to act out of their own self-interest. Even though I'm a diehard Lego person and I'm not a fan of clone brick companies, I do think that the Pandora's box in some ways has been opened by ideas, and we're now seeing massive numbers of ideas. Projects get 10,000 votes every quarter, and only a handful will be made. This particular designer had a set made and had additional buildings that Lego was never going to make a whole bunch of things to attach to that set. And, it ended up selling designs to a rival company, which is what BlueBrik is. It's a rival to Lego. But I do think that, and it seems like Lego is maybe trying to use the platform through BrickLink to maybe provide some outlet for this building pressure. But I do think there is a pressure that is continuing to increase. Fan designs are getting better. And I think there is a powerful desire by many fan designers to see people be able to buy their sets. And I don't think Lego has the interest of producing very many of those. And perhaps BrickLink can accommodate some of that pressure. But I think it's almost certain we're going to see some of these, creative people hop over to rival companies. And so I don't think this is a one-off, and I don't think it's going away. All right. I'll let Dana talk now.
No, I think you're right. It is the Pandora's box that's been opened. I mean, the pandemic has definitely changed the the AFOL community, and just like you're saying, the fact that there have been so many submissions to Lego ideas, and Lego has always been very strict on what it does and what it doesn't do, and then you got a company comes along and says, "Hey, those are some great builds. We'll make them," and that's just a no-brainer. I mean, is it right for the designer to have done it? Depends on what his goal is. It depends on what his objective is. I mean, he probably should have stuck with the horse that brought him to the stable. But if the horse, if that stable wasn't going to produce any more of his stuff or bring him on in any way, shape, or form, and he had a bunch of ideas, what was he going to do? Just sit there and throw them on a Rebrickable and hope somebody's going to buy them? Yeah, here's a company who's willing to pay me.
Yeah.
It's freelance work.
Yeah.
Now, was Lego right in pulling it and doing there? Yeah, because that's what they're going to do. Because they're all about their intellectual property. That's what they've been doing for years. It's what they're going to continue to do. So,
well, I mean, could you imagine being BlueBrik? Lego is saying, if we make this set, all of a sudden BlueBrik says, "Hey, we made this set first. Lego is copying us."
Oh yeah,
and that's a nightmare to the brand.
Oh yeah, which is another reason why Lego was like, "Oh no, you had this someplace else. Pull it."
I think also too, I think like not just in Lego, but across like all toy lines, you're finding this renaissance that's going on between the advent of 3D printers now being cheap and easy to come by, but also too in the last like 10 years, Chinese markets have Chinese factories have basically opened up themselves to the general public. So if you send them a design for something, for instance, like Transformers has this at the wazoo, right? The third-party stuff, you send it to them, they'll make it. And, they take their cut and the whole thing. I had a friend of mine who came up with an idea for a comic book frame, something you could easily take the comics in and out of and hang on your wall. All the other ones, it wasn't quite doing, he had to take the thing apart. He wanted something you just pop in and out. He designed the thing, he put the specs into Excel, sent it to them. They sent him 1,000 units of the thing back. So this is like some guy on the street who can do this. If you extrapolate that into toys in general, I think that companies are going to have to rethink how they handle their IP. Because, I mean, with Lego, it's a little bit more complicated because of the engineering that's involved, and also because of the you're not just copyrighting the concept or the set, you're also copyrighting the part design too, right? Potentially. So that's another sort of thing there. But I mean, all these companies, it's the Wild West now, and they're going to have to think how to go forward. Do they do the Napster thing, or the Metallica thing against Napster? Try to shut it all down, lawyer up, get everything gone, or do you figure out some way around it to ride the wave a little bit without giving away the cow? Like, I've always thought that's why they've invested more in Lego Ideas. This other sort of thing, they're trying to like create like a pressure valve to release it slowly so they still have some control. But but they're not just saying like Hasbro's done, third party, we can't stop it. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
We'll just focus on our stuff.
I think
right?
what the comment by Matt Robbins is exactly how I feel. If he, in fact, if the guy gave it to BlueBriks and they gave him money, it should have stayed there. If that's in fact what happened, it should not have come back to Lego as a idea, because he's already profited off of that. That's their intellectual property, regardless of whether or not they signed off the intellectual property as his or BlueBriks. They produced it. It's now theirs. Association. It's tainted. At this point, it's tainted.
I agree.
Well, I think when it comes to design of sets, you can't hang on to that as IP. You can't, because the set is made to be rebuilt into something else.
So
you just can't.
Let me ask this question, and Rich, this is probably going to cause you to jump on your soapbox, but if I get the instructions from someplace, whether it's online, rebrickable, or somewhere, and I buy the parts and I put the set together, do I own the set, even though I didn't buy the set? I mean, and I say this, and I'm going to go a little sci-fi here, because as you said, Gil, 3D printers. I mean, we know that there are guys out there who've been printing monorail track. We know that the advancement of printers is getting better and better in the same life cycle that PCs were in the 80s. It's better and better every generation, and they're happening quicker and quicker and quicker. The immersion printers are doing. There's no need for you to sand and do any additional fine work. It is smooth as glass. It's way to go.
Here's what I will say. Let's take this to an analogy. Let's say a piece of woodwork, like a Chippendale.
Are you going to say that if we replace the ship pieces, is it still the ship?
No, I'm not going to go there.
Man,
if you had the plans to no condition red alert. If you had plans to make a Chippendale wooden bookcase.
Wait. Are you talking about the dancers or the two squirrels? I mean, which are you talking about?
The squirrels.
Chippendale. Okay, the squirrel. All right.
Squirrels. Chipmunks. If you produced a bookcase that was in the style of and matched a Chippendale bookcase, you have a bookcase that is Chippendale styled. You don't have a Chippendale bookcase.
You're not talking about the two squirrels. Okay, that's okay.
But at the same time, though, if the Chippendale bookcase was made by the same wood that is sourced by Chippendale,
nope.
Because it wasn't made by their craftsmen.
Because it was not made by them.
But what if it's got the same?
Go to roadshow. But neither roadshow. They'll say nope. That's not a Chippendale bookcase.
Right, Boone is back. He's got. We got to give Boone. Thank you for coming back, Boone. What you got, man?
Nobody put together the set. Nobody put together the official set. So my argument is neither is the one that you bought brand new out of the box. That was not put together by them either. It was still put together by some Joe Schmo who bought it and followed instructions. I'm sorry. I don't have a strong
furniture here.
What's that?
He doesn't have a lot of furniture.
Oh.
All right. So I mean, I would say the actual thing he made is what is and we'll see it. Jeff may have left.
No.
Jeff left a link here. I'm going to click it. You know, we have to go off the air very fast. But I think is that it? Is that the stuff? Yeah.
Those are the 3 sets.
Okay, good. All right. So these exact creations were made by BlueBrik and then returned. Those were submitted to Lego, and Lego figured all that out and everything. So
my thought is design some new stuff.
That's true. I agree.
Like
yeah.
You know, if I don't know, like why not? Like there's legal stuff about, so like my fire engine, you know, there's a whole number of years and blah 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 and whatever I can do with it and when. But Matt, is your hand raised?
Yeah, I'm a teacher.
I'll stop.
He's a teacher.
I've talked.
Okay, can I tell y'all something really funny that's going on that y'all can't see? That tab that Jeff shared, and I don't know if Jeff is listening to us in the chat. After I turn it off, it's now moving and doing things. So Jeff is. I'm not going to share in case
it's me.
Something weird happens. Oh, is it you?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought it was Jeff. It said no longer. All I can see is no longer, and I thought it was. It's you. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
so you're looking at those pics. Anyway,
I'm looking at the BlueBrik site trying to find the sets.
So here's the other thing. I mean, I don't want to. Honestly, I don't think it's that interesting to focus on this one specific case. I'm more interested in the broader thing going forward, which is now I've only picked up on this vaguely, but apparently Lego has been waging war against BlueBriks in the German market, because I came across some stuff on Eurobricks, and some German people were very upset that Lego had frozen out one of the biggest German YouTubers who had started doing reviews of BlueBrik sets. And Lego took this very personally and no longer will send him like samples and things like that. And some of these German builders thought that this was really unfair of Lego to do this. My position was, well, they own the sets. They don't have to send them to anybody they don't want to send them to. And they view BlueBriks as a rival, that they're competing, like Coke versus Pepsi and GM versus VW. But, you know, so, I mean, Lego is going to do what they are going to do to protect their intellectual property. But I think one of the fascinating things is if Lego really clamps down and there are creative designers, those people may just stop submitting it to ideas and just go right to clone companies that'll pay them, which again, it comes back to how are they going to handle using the designer program that they're setting up on Bricklink? Because I could see that as a strategic maneuver on the part of Lego to prevent some of the talented people who don't get mass produced, but they don't really want them to bleed over into the clone market. So,
well, you know, if I'm sitting there and I haven't had that point, if I'm sitting there and I got 10,000, I mean, I get the idea that I can make something that at least 10,000 people want to buy.
Yeah.
And then Lego says, let's look at that. And then they're like,
Star Justice, right? 10,000 people.
3 people looked at that and 4 people bought it. But anyway, the thing though is Lego is almost creating this monster themselves. They are, and there's good and bad, I guess, but they're recognizing, they're saying you got the stuff, your set's got the stuff, but we're not going to do it. Then I'm like, well, then I'm going to find somebody who is. You know, I mean, I really am. I would think that. I could see where somebody would think that, and I don't fault them for it in a way. I mean, but now if Lego owns the design, then you're toast on that.
But see, that's again, this is the thing where it's sort of muddy because of the nature of what Lego is. Lego is a creative design tool. That's what it is. That's what you do, right? Yes, there are models that, you know, some people, they treat it as a model and they build it and that's it. But, you know, the core principle behind this thing is to create new things, or to create things that from component parts that are meant to be combined together into a final product by yourself, right? Now, that's why I mean is that, you know, in an ideal world, before this sort of like global shift towards being able to do things yourself or do things direct or with other companies, yeah, they could control the designs as well, because there was really no alternate. But now that these alternates are opening up more and more and more and faster and faster and faster, it's like Napster. It's like it all over again. Yeah. It's either you find some way and draw some general lines that are less than where they were before, because you can't go in the time machine. You can't go back. Yeah. So whether Lego is saying now, okay, let's not worry about set design. Let's worry about, you know, themes, about minifig design, absolutely, because those prints on the minifigs, those things, you know, you can't change those. It is what it is, right? Packaging design, part design, like when you create a new part, man, like you copyright that part to design, so it's iron proof. So if someone then, BlueBriks or another company, they design a part that's similar to that, that's where you nail them. Not on set design, because that genie's gone. You got to refocus on what you can actually control, right? That's what I kind of think. The rest is just spinning your wheels.
My friend John Ruddy, he may have a different take. He was talking about the timeline. Says that Lego kind of axed and turned those models down at one point. He ran them to BlueBriks, and then Lego came crawling. But I don't know if that's true or not, and I don't want to speculate, but it could be. I don't know.
So there is something I think that's interesting, and that is when and it's different for ideas than it was for my experience with the very first Bricklink AFOL design program. In that, when does Lego have the rights to the design. And I just pulled this up. This is in the Lego Ideas terms, an assignment. In exchange for use of the platform and to the extent that your contributions through use of the platform give rise to any intellectual property right interest, here under copyright, patent rights, design rights, etc., you hereby assign all rights worldwide to the content generated by you to Lego, meaning that Lego can co-market producers, da 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 da. So the problem, actually, as I interpret it, was not that he had some designs that were with another company, and then that company released it, and then he brought it to Ideas. The problem was that these were Ideas projects to begin with that he then took to another company. Because just by submitting the ideas to Lego Ideas means that he had already relinquished that right.
And that's totally
and they didn't notice it until he had gone, and they were giving him the opportunity to come back. So you know, all of those participants in the current, what are they calling it now, Bricklink design program?
Something like that. Yeah.
They're all 10,000 club members from Ideas that were not chosen by Lego to go into production. So if I were speculating about how that came to pass when they started looking at, okay, how many people have reached 10,000 and were not ultimately chosen. Okay, yeah, thanks. Thanks, John. How many, you know, they're looking at how many of these things reached 10,000 and were not chosen. Which ones are going to end up being part of this Bricklink program? Because there could be, I don't know, there could be 100, there could be 200. I don't know how many there have been that have reached 10,000 but were not ultimately chosen. Maybe it's only 65. I don't know. But it was not a surprise to those designers the day those pictures were put on Bricklink. There was a process. I don't know what that process was because I wasn't part of it this time. But I guarantee you there was a process that led to those pictures. So whether it was interpreted as Lego crawling back or Lego just identifying these projects as part of the group that are worthy exploring through this new direction, you know, I guess it probably depends on your interpretation.
I got it.
One of the things that I've already noticed is that some of the designs on Ideas that failed to be approved, you can already buy the instructions off Rebrickable, which is technically a violation of the terms of service because Lego owns the intellectual property. If you submit your design to Ideas, even if it doesn't get produced, Lego owns the design rights. And I'm seeing
only the person that owns that property. Like someone else could have just looked at that picture and built it themselves, built the instructions and put them up to make a quick buck.
That's possible. That's possible. I haven't tried to look at the username of the person selling on, but my suspicion is that it actually is the actual designer, but that's just a guess. I haven't looked that up, but I want to I want to follow up actually on my Canadian friend directly below me, which is this Brave New World, right? So there's this whole thing. How can Lego handle the fact that there's a new kind of opportunity for fan designers to produce their stuff? And one of the things that is a possibility is a custom order thing. So just as you can do books printed by Amazon that are printed on demand based on the orders, there is the potential for perhaps using Bricklink where they could say, okay, we're going to mass produce this one set. And then if you want to order these other 5 runners up, you can go on Bricklink, order, and you have to wait a month. They pull the parts, they print a copy of the instructions, and they mail it to you. I think that would be an interesting way for Lego to undermine the risk of designers fleeing to clone bricks. But but it takes a lot of work. You have to hire staff. You have to have the supply to pull these pieces. I mean, it's a headache in some ways to gear that up for a company like Lego. But I'm wondering if there's any kind of conversations about that as an alternative that's going on inside the company. I have no idea. But
Lego did something similar back in the day when we did the factory sets. You could go on Lego Digital Designer, you could upload your design, and you could get the bricks. You could also share it, and other people could buy it as well. Because that was one of the things we were trying to tell them that would be neat is if, and I actually ran across what they did was they printed on a dot matrix printer the set that you made, stuck it in this clear box, put 3 pieces that you whatever it was in this box and sent it to you, and you got your Lego set. And it was really primitive. And I've got the inserts because I made a bunch of classic space redone in that style to say, hey, keep pumping this out. And they're like, no, we lost your number. So, but they did that, and it was pretty labor intensive. I'm pretty sure, even though the palette was limited, and so that ended. They stopped doing that because it was also a way for you could copy and paste 15,000 of one piece and order that as a set, and that was a parts order, right? It happened. Trust me.
Now, although here's one other interesting part. When you're going back to to Boone's point about, the minute you submit, Lego retains rights to this design, and how that leads into what I was saying before about it. Basically, this product is made to build and create and design your own stuff. It's so murky and be so hard to police, because let's say I designed that fishing shop, and I submit it to Lego. Lego says, okay, it made the cut. Let's say it didn't make the cut. Let's say it made the cut, didn't get chosen. Okay, I'm going to change 10% of that build. It's going to have 2 doors now. It's going to have, it's going to have an extra fish. It's going to have this. I'm going to give it to Britt, and Lego comes after me something like, hey, dude, new design. What are you talking about, man? Right? Where do they make that cut? Is it 20% of it is the same? Is it just conceptual? Because now you can't say, well, you mean I can't sell a fishing shop to them? So when you have something that's not a one-to-one, that's not I've taken this product, I've scanned it in, I've printed it out, it's exactly the same millimeter to millimeter, yes, right? But if you have something that can be marginally changed, does that IP claim fall down? And right, it's just so perky.
There it is. Ship of Theseus.
Yeah.
Well, I will say, in what Boone had to run, he sent a message to us privately. His family had gotten back home. There was language in there that swayed into the spirit of, or the whatever, and that gets really nebulous, obviously. This spaceship is blue, this spaceship is red, different teams, right?
Different.
It's different, but I really don't think you want to take Lego up on that when the lawyers come knocking from Lego. Unless
BlueBrik has a good legal team, right? So
intellectual property lawyers are those are the hardcore guys. Those are the guys who are basically, I am defending an idea. There's nothing physical to prove that somebody else did it first or not. It's just a concept, and I'm going to lock down and make it a legal issue. And that's where everything gets funky.
And it's literally an idea in this case.
No pun intended.
It literally is.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
Actually, I should just stop saying no pun intended, because obviously within my subconscious, the pun is always really intended. So I want to drop this out there, and I said, I kind of alluded to this, and I was going a little sci-fi on this, because one of my favorite things that has happened in recent history is the space station needed a tool that they didn't have to fix something.
Yeah.
And he's a center and one down right there. That's the tool that they needed right there.
The engineers at NASA designed the tool they needed, sent the file to them electronically, and they 3D printed it on the space station to fix what they needed to fix.
Neat.
We've seen it in Lost in Space. They 3D printed a handgun. We've seen We've seen it in Star Trek Discovery, where they basically 3D print your clothing. The future hear me now, believe me later. The future is, instead of me going to Amazon and ordering something and having it delivered to me next day, second day, whatever, it's spitting out on the printer that I have sitting on my shelf.
It's the replicator.
It's the replicator. We've been jonesing for this as much as we have been for a holodeck, but this is actually this is reality. This is going to happen. I need to order something, and instead of the company manufacturing and shipping it to me, I'm going to print it.
You can already do that with replacement parts for washing machines, freezers.
Yeah.
You can go on to Whirlpool's site and you can download the still file.
Yeah.
If it's made out of plastic. So it's already here. It's not even like, some way off in the future with flying motorcycles.
How long before that technology gets to the I guess the DPI or whatever you would say, the resolution that would actually be the quality of a Lego brick?
That's where I was stating earlier that the next generation of printers keep getting better and better and better, and the immersion printers are there, and we're getting to the point where Lego is today producing things with these high injection molding machines that we can turn around and 3D print at home. And if we get to a point where it's printing it at the quality or slight sub quality of the Lego device or the Lego injection molding, again, I come back to the question. I've got parts that say Lego on the top because the 3D file says Lego, and the plastic I've sourced from somewhere that may or may not be like Lego's plastic. Or maybe Lego comes down the road along the line and says, hey, we're going to sell you spools of Lego filament.
Right.
Yeah.
And
the actual ABS.
On Flickr, who makes his own parts, and he incorporates them into his little models, little cars or tractors or whatever, whether it's fenders or
and I don't know if and I can't think that Lego is thinking this far ahead. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. But I would almost think that Bricklink was probably thinking of this stuff already and maybe thinking of it, because Bricklink Designer allows you to introduce elements that don't exist and extrapolate and create your own elements.
Yeah.
So it's just this is all a matter of time as this all starts to come to play.
That's a good point right there.
Yeah.
We'll never be able to make it cheaper.
Never is wrong.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Nick made a comment about 5 Up that is hilarious, but I'm not putting it in my show.
Are you talking about the codpiece reference?
Yes, thank you for bringing that up.
I was waiting for you to slow that up. Oh, Nick.
I'm like, no.
Brother from another mother.
All right, so let's just we need to talk about the ugly, and I'm just going to put this picture here.
We're going to do this in 8 minutes.
Do what?
We're going to do this in 8 minutes.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Boo.
Oh, all right.
Boo.
So for those of us who wanted the Lego had announced, and they said that there's going to be a Ulysses space probe, something that would go along with the shuttle that would be worth VIP points to buy, which seemed odd and weird at that announcement. And then it got delayed, and then it got quickly announced that at 9 a.m. Eastern time, the entire world.
Yeah, not even the world.
It was the entire world could hop on the VIP and get it. And when I hopped on, VIP was under maintenance. Everybody was getting all the weird things. And then in 15 minutes, they were sold out.
I heard it was 5, but okay.
Okay, I was giving grace.
You were able to log back in to get your browser to refresh to tell you that it was sold out.
Yeah, I'm literally I'm trying to get chapels. I'm about to speak at chapel at our school at 9:15, and I'm in the back, and they're singing, and I'm doing this number in the back. And I nothing. It was all gone. Just toast. So,
so what's the big deal with that? It's because it fits inside the shuttle, I guess. Is that why?
No, it wasn't so much that. It was more along. I mean, how often do we get space sets in general? And I think there's the hype of it. And here's the thing that I think is really kind of. And let me tell you, as being an ambassador and looking at the LAN and watching the thread on this was just. I mean, I went and got popcorn twice while reading through it because it was just crazy allegations. Countries saying that this is illegal to do this kind of thing. You must disclose how many sets are available. I mean, just you name it. They were complaining about it.
Oh, Germany.
Well, I mean, Lego's taken off the Germans twice in this week, so you know we know how that ends up. But anyway.
I mean, and on top of the fact that it was on the heels of this bad boy going as fast as it did,
Flex.
And again, this all comes back to it's the question of what is the VIP rewards. I mean, this is a rewards program that we should be able to take our points and get something that's available because we're VIP members. But then you make something that's an exclusive, that's a limited run. That's not a reward. That's like, it's okay if you do a Comic-Con exclusive. I didn't spend money to go to Comic-Con, so I'm not going to get the Comic-Con set. But if I've spent money in the store and I'm a loyal logo, or loyal, there's too many L's. It's like my house with D's and cats. I am a loyal Lego fan, and now you're going to say that now I got to run the gauntlet to get something to spend my points on? It's created an environment that scalpers are jumping on, and it's a huge debacle, no matter how you look at it.
So I just threw this up on my screen. The Coliseum came out as a gift with purchase. Only you buy that set, you get the Chariot, right?
Correct.
But it's still available, and that came out in what, January? No, that came out last year.
Yeah, nobody wants that tan brown trash can lid. Anyway, so.
I happen to know for a fact that your son wants that set just because he wants the parts.
To make something else.
Something else.
I want the Chariot. That's all I want.
Well, yeah, exactly. But
I know somebody got it who won't sell it.
You can only get the Chariot with that set. But I'm wondering if this is one of those, we made so many of these Chariots and not enough people have bought the set. So now we're stuck with them. So, we have this other VIP or this other thing coming up. Let's make a limited run. And we can't give them away with the space shuttle because we know everybody's going to want to buy the space shuttle. So we'll throw it up on VIP as a reward.
Yeah, but the sad thing is that they've done this for other GWPs that they had too many of. They threw around and made them as VIP rewards that you could go in and use your VIP points to get. So if that was the case, those Chariots will eventually show up on VIP rewards, and you can get one if you've got VIP points. That's fine if you've got
ride.
I mean, this one sold out in 2 days too, right?
Yeah.
Or less than 2 days, probably 1 day. I don't know what the actual, I know on January 3rd it wasn't available.
But again, this is if you make a set that's a giveaway or a promo, and you wind up with too many of them, you'll find a way to get rid of them. You'll get rid of them eventually. But to make something to underproduce them and then cause everybody to lose their shit, you're just asking for trouble.
Yeah. And this is a point. It shouldn't sell instantly selling out. Yeah.
So here's the question that really comes down to, Chris. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Lego gotten so big that they don't really care how much we lose our stuff over.
And that, my friend, is probably the reality of it all.
Yeah, I agreed. But you got to think though, somebody is like, this didn't go well. Now, can I give my theory why the Coliseum stuff is still there? It's because it looks like Castle, and this was cool stuff like Space. That's just that's the difference. I mean, you're getting
Chariot is awful.
You're getting tan walls and some brick built horses that look worse than the ones that came out in the Yellow Castle.
Oh my God. I thought at least he had like a Centurion helmet or something. It's just some doof in a freaking in a medieval cage helmet. That's stupid.
Yeah.
So
feather on top.
One of the things that that Lego is consciously trying to do is
Are those Malamutes?
One of the things that Lego is consciously trying to do is to get all of us to log in to the VIP Center on their website on a much more frequent basis. And this is why they're creating scarce items to get us to log on at least once a month. Now, I don't particularly like this, but it's intentional. And they've debated about creating a VIP app for your phone, and there's still internal talks about it. But I don't, if they want to drive us to go to the VIP Reward Center, I don't see this going away. I could see them increasing the count of things that you can redeem, but this is a conscious strategy, not an unconscious strategy. And therefore, I would not expect it to stop anytime soon.
The practicality is I went to the VIP site and it was down for maintenance when I wanted to buy something. And I don't care. I'm not going back because all I can get right now is coloring pages for 10 VIP points. I don't care.
And that, Chris, you said it right there that you're not going to go back. And that was one of the big things on the LAN that many of the ambassadors and talking to their lug, that their lugs are like, no, the reward program is a joke. I'm not even going to bother next time because why get upset and go through all this issue when I don't need to? I'll just go to Target and buy my stuff and screw the reward points. I get 5% back on my red card, and they have a sale more often at the Target shop than why go to the Lego store. So it's really soured the whole VIP program to the point where people don't even care about it anymore.
Yeah. I mean, this would have been an easy gift with purchase set. It would have been an easy, because I wanted the shuttle. Hey, this is something that made that the shuttle. It all went with it. They blew that up. The IT department and the marketing folks, they were not having a day. I don't know what was going on at Lego that day, but it was not a good day and not a good plan. And but I don't know. I don't know if Lego, like Rich said, do they really care? Maybe they do.
They do. Let me tell you, when they changed it up, not the first time, but really the second time, and they made you go to the website to redeem your stuff, I let that stuff sit for 5 years. That's why I ended up with 23,000 VIP points. Now,
man, you can buy so many coloring pages right now.
I know. No, it's all gone now. I use that stuff up. And the idea that you can't, double your coupons on something.
Yeah.
I had to pay for half of that out of pocket, and when I should have been able to just pay for 3/4 of it.
Yeah.
And instead, what I did is I bought that for half price, and then I bought some the second level minifig leg, some for $20 and some for $50. Yeah, just like that. Take it, because I really don't want to deal with the VIP program anymore, and I'm not going back.
And that is exactly how a lot of people on the LAN were describing the whole scenario.
Yeah. So for me, it's like I'll just show up at the store and I'm like, oh, let me see what I got VIP points. And usually the folks at our store are like, well, let me help you with that. And they'll let you get your VIP points, cash them in right there. And I'm done. I'm not going to check what, I really am done. I don't care about the VIP program, except that if I've got points built up, I might use them. And, if that was supposed to brag about the VIP program, they showed me that the VIP program is broken. That's basically what I thought I see. And for us, it was 1,800 VIP points. What is that? $20? I don't know.
Yeah,
$20. And I just wanted a set worth $20 that would go along with the display that I am becoming that guy that's collecting all the shuttles, by the way. It would look neat. It would be cool. It was nothing that I was just like so jonesing for, but it's like, hey, this would be cool. Yeah. And that feeling of a Lego fan that says, hey, that's a cool set. I'd like to get that and not have a whole lot of hassle. You got kicked in the butt. And that's not
hassle years ago, Chris. And that's why I basically just stopped caring about what VIP points I had. Oh, big deal. I have got a bunch of VIP. What?
Yeah, until you have $300 to go spend at the Lego store.
I'll take your points.
Closest Lego store is now over an hour away. So
hey, Rich, if you have some VIP points you don't care about, I'll adopt them. Our household can care for them and take them in. So you can put them on the little basket on the front
porch. It's under 2,000, which is about 20 cents. So.
Put them in a basket, push them out into the reeds, and they'll end up in the waste spot.
So, but here's the other part of this that's the real kicker is that you didn't get it, and Now you go online within like literally like 20 minutes, and there are people selling them for $150 all the way up to $400. I think there might have been one that up to $800. I mean, talk about the slap in the face. Right. Is that you didn't get it, and now if you really, really want it, you're going to pay through the eyes.
Yeah, see, that's the point. Scalpers and people who buy the stuff, and I know we have friends who do that, and they're not, whatever. This got rated by people who have VIP points because they're reselling and all that kind of stuff. Fine, free market, whatever.
Right.
But so they got it. It was not intended for them to enjoy. They muscled ahead and were able to get it and resell it, which that's fine. It's a whatever. But if Lego had made that a gift with purchase, it would have been perfectly placed that I got the shuttle. I want this. Then I could resell if I wanted to. There was no barrier or no focus on the interested parties with this little set to let them get the thing they wanted to put on their shelf, build or whatever. Yeah, it doesn't have any super amazing parts. It looked like it had a building technique in the middle of the Saturn V that was there, and that's fine too. And it was pretty cool. But it just to me, it goes against the Lego thing of fair play and all that kind of stuff. It shouldn't have been that bad. I know they don't care.
Well, and we in the States have had it lucky that if you happen to go to San Diego, you were able to get convention exclusives because San Diego is one of the few places in the world that Lego would do a show exclusive. The other one being Star Wars Celebration. So if you were lucky, you may have gotten to Celebration Europe or someplace instead. But it was always common for the week of San Diego, the San Diego exclusive minifigures would pop up at $80 to whatever immediately. But again, you had to go to Comic-Con.
Yeah.
And you had to get into a lottery, and you had to go through the legwork to do this versus, I'm up at 9 o'clock. Let me open up 12 browsers and let me try and do a DDoS attack on Lego Shop at Home. And hey, look, I got one.
Yeah.
Well, to follow up, if Lego wants to drive ordinary people to the reward center and we never get in for the cool stuff, we're going to quit going.
Exactly.
I mean, why get up? Why set an alarm if I never get it? Then I'm not going to go there. And that's supposed to be their goal in creating this stuff.
Matt, did you have to set an alarm to get up at 9 a.m.?
I did.
I was awake till 4 a.m. that day. So yes, because I was dog tired. I got up instead of sleeping in, which I could have done because I don't teach till 1. I set an alarm. I got up and I clicked for half an hour, and then I was annoyed. Yeah. Because next time I was like, fine, I'll just sleep in. I was really tired, and I could have used that extra half an hour. I was annoyed. Yeah, I was more than annoyed, but I won't use that word on the show. But yeah.
So I didn't actually see the announcement that it was coming out because I didn't go to a browser after 2 o'clock in the afternoon the day before because I was working with a bunch of other stuff. So I came down the next morning at about 9:45, and I refreshed my browser, and I'm like, what? So I went on and I couldn't get it. But I mean, I'm happy that it wasn't available because I wasn't obsessing over it through the night or whatever, thinking, I want to get that, right? But at the same time, it's like, come on, how many units do they have? 3?
I think it was something silly like a whole 2,500 units per region or something like that.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Hey, Brickzar, Jabbo lives just up the road. Jabbo, invite me over. We can yell at Lego together online. That would be great. Old men yelling.
And I gotta go with Brickzar because even if I had gotten one, I'd probably just be just as irritated and annoyed because it's like, what are you doing? Ulysses brilliant. Man. You're right, though, and we've talked. I mean, I know we joked about whether this was a dead horse to even bother kicking because we've talked about this, for other exclusives. And again, I reference back to Comic-Con, and it's been an ongoing thing, and they're not learning; they're continuing to do it over and over and over and over again.
If I knew where Brickzar's lawn was, I would drive there right now and just be on his lawn. That would be hilarious.
But on this show, the phrase is "get off my base plate."
That's right. Get off my base plate.
But do you know what also is kind of funny is that there's this whole thing around this thing that's called Ulysses. the story about the impossible journey, that's like not meant for mortal men.
Like, for all wandering heroes yet to come. Yeah.
Well, I was going to say James Joyce is a terrible designer. So,
well, I mean, I'm thinking more of the Greek, but yeah.
Oh, me. Well, it comes down to it. It was there's not an exclusive minifigure in it. There's nothing super duper special. It doesn't even have a copied Ninjago pilot with a stupid horse that looked like weird dogs in front. It's just a little probe set that would look really cool, with the shuttle, and have the same little sticker, sign on it. Would make a great display for space nerds. And
it's the Space Slug set for NASA.
There it is.
And Chris is upset because he didn't get probed.
Well, good evening, everybody.
No comment.
We are at 2 hours, so we do need to really land the plane here. And thank you for that, Jeff.
Well, had there been any downhill yet? I mean, Gil was on, and it didn't go downhill.
Proof. But anyway, this has been a lively discussion. We had a great group in the chat. In fact, it's still going strong. Great conversation. Thank y'all for joining us tonight. We'll be back for Messy Monday on Monday, and we will make a logo and all this kind of stuff. We are having the Mega Force Be With You contest that will end. Do we want to say 5/20? That way it's ending. That's a month from now or so, and that's when Boone show's on. So not May the 4th, but for us old folks, it is Mega Force Be With You, and build a Mega Force, an actual set or actual vehicle or an inspired. I really just want to build somebody a big fig just kissing the thumb. I don't know what it is. We'll see, but just make sure you build for that. We'll put some instructions. We'll have that on Messy Monday.
One last thing before we go. If you are fans or friends of the Atlanta Brick Company, Mark and Chris and I were down there last Friday for a little interview session with for their vlog, and that will be on their site tomorrow. So if you want to hear Mark and Chris blather on with me in the background, go ahead and take a look.
And bloviating is correct. We just talked forever, but it was a lot of fun.
It was fun.
I'm glad you got that set up for us. So so check out old Atlanta Brick Company. And if you don't know about Atlanta Brick Company, it's a great store, great folks. I would just wish it was a little closer, because in Atlanta we live an hour and a half from Atlanta. With that, we appreciate y'all. Appreciate you guys for joining us. This is we just been ranting at a convention backstage after the public's gone home, and just having real talk. So glad you were here. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us in the chat. We had a lively bunch. Really appreciate you taking 2 hours out of your time to hear us talk about plastic bricks. And with that, be kind to your neighbor, wear a mask, get your shot, and for crying out loud, just be nice to somebody. Have a great night. See ya.
Good night.
I never walk out of a meeting waving. Why do we do it for this kind of thing? I don't.